Howdy y'all, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 17 with the Butcher Man. Just a quick update. I was talking about last episode about skipping that a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be doing full disclosure and all that stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's a kind of iffy. You know, there's a whole lot of doing the same stuff over and over and over, so I end up planting the rest of that field. 14's done. So I think, and I hate to do the same stuff over and over, but really, I mean, doing seasons, we don't have a choice. I mean, we've got to get the planting in this spring. So I think we're going to do 19 today. We need to plow it and then fertilize it and seed it, which we obviously won't get all that done today. So let's get to it. Luckily, we still have the big plow on the back of the Ford. How are y'all doing? I know I got an encouraging comment. I cannot remember the guy's name as usual, but look at my last video, it'll be in there. And basically the comment was, you're doing really great. I mean, so obviously somebody's liking the series. And it's always good to hear, man. I really enjoy that. I always really enjoy the encouragement. Get this unfolded. And this thing's a lot wider. A lot wider than I ever remember. Alright, put her down. And let's go, man. I do think one thing we're going to change, we might change a little bit. Start trying to do a little bit more like third person stuff. The first person is nice. But man, doing videos just, that sounds really loud. Doing videos is just a bit much sometimes. Let's do 10%. That should do it. But you know, first person is nice. It's great. I'm probably gonna try to do a lot of it. But you know, doing a video, it needs to be entertaining. People need to like it, that sort of stuff. I'm gonna try not to change everything up because I do rather enjoy the first person perspective, you know, about it. But you know, like I was just saying, it needs to be entertaining. People need to enjoy the video because we do need to grow the channel. I hate this articulating steering though. It's always so much more difficult, it seems like. It always seems like it drifts or something, or I'm just not very good at tracking. It's probably I'm not very good at tracking. What's going on here? Random grass. I don't know what's going on there. It's probably just a defect or something. Let's see if we can do create field, if it fixes it. I can get around here or whatever. It should be Y, I think, yeah. If this will fix it. We don't need that in the middle of the field. Alright, that doesn't do anything. Right on. I guess we'll just have to, you know, leave it there. It'll be fine. As far as I'm aware, you know, there's no way to get rid of them weeds. Even like the texture changing, whatever thing mod I have where you can use the roller, there's no changing it. Like it doesn't get rid of it. It'll get rid of the main, like the normal grass, but it won't get rid of like these weeds or whatever. So it's not really that big of a deal, I suppose. So is anybody enjoying any other maps? That's kind of a question to, you know, get into. I'm not too interested in getting like into another map, you know, at least as far as the channel goes, but I'm always looking for a map just to play on myself. I know right now I've considered starting a new personal like game on Hagenstead. I'm playing a game on Sosnovka, which I've really never played before, which it's pretty interesting. I'm doing like all grass though. You know, I found this video or whatever, and the guy basically points out that there's an awful lot of money in grass. I mean, just tons of money. If you mow it, especially FS17, you don't have to tether it. You can just make a grass bale, and then what you do is you wrap it, and then it's a silage bale, and then you get a whole bunch of money for it. And it's quite a bit. I mean, almost $3,000 per bale. So if you get the follow me set up and all that stuff, you can just sit there in a line, you know. And since you can put the mowers on the front of the tractor now, real wide, and a rake on the back, you can just sit there and go to town, like mowing and raking, and then a baler going, and then baler, and then a wrapper, and then the pickup trailer behind it. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna end up downloading, or I did download the larger automatic trailers, kind of like what Bullet Bill used to have. I don't remember who made the new one, but it's a lot bigger. I mean, you can fit like 30 bales or something crazy on it, instead of the 8 that the normal trailer allows. So it's pretty nice. I'm gonna try that out, I think, tomorrow. It's pretty late now, but I figured it's been days since I've done a video. It's like I need to get in here and do a video so you guys can actually have something to watch and all that. I guess on a personal level, the interesting thing that happened recently is I was doing a trap out on some honeybees out of a tree, and I actually just went and got them yesterday, and the tree should be getting cut down tomorrow, and the tree service that's cutting it down is going to give me that part of the tree where the bees were, so I should be pretty well set. Which way should we go on this field? Probably down the big backside over there. Like down this side. Sorta. I don't know. I was just pressing the number 8. But I've remapped it, so it doesn't speed up time. Because I just pressed it like 5 times. Trying to figure out why my map wouldn't go down. I remap it that way I don't accidentally push it. That's just sort of irritating. Pushing it when you don't mean to, and then you don't realize it for like, you know, until it starts getting dark, and you're like, why is it getting dark? This is good fun though. I do already enjoy this series. Just because like the fact that it's seasons and all that stuff, it makes it a little more interesting. You know, you don't just plant and harvest and plant and harvest and plant and harvest. You actually have to pay attention to a couple of things. Like, it's not as intense as like the soil management mod or whatever, because you don't have to deal with so much moisture and fertilization and all that stuff. But it does pretty good. I think it's pretty nice. I think we're still in day 1 though. I know we slept, but I changed it from 9 days to 6 days, which apparently I probably should have done before I slept, because it looks like it has changed us back to 1 day, or day 1. I think that's what that means, right? 01/early spring. I'm assuming that means day 1. I guess we'll find out here in a bit once we sleep. Which I don't know if that'll be in this video or not, but it might be. Depends on how long I record. If I record for an hour, that's the same as 5 hours in game, which would put us at what, round about 15, 20, 100, 8 o'clock. Maybe not quite. I've been trying to think of like different stuff I can do as far as all that goes, but it's kind of hard to sit here and say, well, maybe I should do something else when, you know, the seasons mod makes it realistic enough to the point where, you know, it's spring, you're gonna plant. I mean, planting is your high priority. Because come fall, you're gonna want every one of these fields to be able to be harvested. So if you're messing around with something else and not able to harvest it, then you've got a big problem. I think it's gonna be, you know, rinse and repeat sort of thing. But I've got at least one person saying I'm doing a great job, so I do need. I would love to have a bigger seeder though, like the big bud seeder. Because that little seeder it takes forever on these big fields. It just takes so long. Just do a circle around this pole. It'll all work out. Probably turning a little more than I'm probably supposed to, but you know, it is what it is. I suppose you just end up fixing it, which I got the repair mod, but I don't think it works. At least I can't get it to work. But I also downloaded this like this crazy like bale like baler. I don't even know how to describe it. Like basically just kind of dump the grass or hay or pretty much anything in it. Seems like it turns it into a bale and then it wraps it up to store it. Even wood chips. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but it looks pretty crazy. I was looking it up, and apparently it's actually realistic. I actually found a video of, you know, real life them using this thing. You just dump grass in one end, and then it just kind of turns it into a bale, and then wraps it up and spits it out. So I'm gonna start playing with it on my own personal series, and we might even get it on here since it is realistic. You know, we could use that to be making a bunch of silage bales and supplying our neighbors with silage bales. You know, up until and probably even after we even get animals. There's a lot of money in the silage bales. Especially since we got like all of field 14 now. I think it's 14. Yeah. So all of 14 is now grass. Loads of fun, man. Loads of fun. We gotta get the money-making ventures going. But being that it's farm, it's just, you know, early spring, just starting out. Not a whole lot of money in it. I can understand though. I can completely understand people want to do like 3-day seasons. That way it just goes a lot faster, but I think it would go too fast. Like especially on this map, as many big fields as you have, I think if it's 3-day seasons, you wouldn't be able to plant them all. I think even with 6-day seasons, I'm going to be pressed to do it. I do think it'll be slightly challenging to get everything planted, you know, in accordance with the season. We'll just have to, like after a couple of days though, we'll have to pay attention to, you know, what can and can't be planted in the season and all that stuff. I haven't even been looking at it really. Probably should have been. I've just been planting like whatever I want. I guess I need to look at that. Might be kind of a big deal. Nobody's yelled at me for it yet, so hopefully that means I haven't messed anything up yet. I've only planted wheat and barley so far, and those should be all right. I think, if I remember right, poplar is like the only thing that you can actually plant and harvest like year round. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the seasons mod actually makes it to where like poplars actually grow back. Like you don't have to actually replant them, get them to come back. Which is realistic because trees do just grow back once you cut them. So I didn't really get that in FS17 where you cut them and then they just kind of disappear. Because that's just not how it normally is. Plus, like, I think I did the figures, and it doesn't seem like you really make any money on if you're doing poplars or whatever. You don't really make much money off the sawdust or no, your wood chips. I don't think you make much money off of it, really. Not considering how much money you have to put into the field, and how much time you have to put in the field. It seems cool, but it doesn't seem worth it, especially now since the harvester is like super expensive. You know, at least when you get like the chaff harvester or like forage harvester or whatever, like chaff silage is worth a lot of money, so it's worth it. But doing the wood, like doing the poplar trees and the wood chips, it's just, you don't get that much money for it. Not for having to invest a lot of money. But like the regrowth of the poplars is kind of what would solve that issue. Just my opinion, I guess. Kind of debating on how to do this. I really want to do the full disclosure thing, but at the same time, I think as long as I'm not doing the same thing in like several different episodes, like the plowing is fine because I can do the plowing, and you know I could probably plow any farm, any field on the map with this big thing, you know, within one episode. But as far as the planting goes, you can't plant these fields in one episode. I mean, if I actually do all of it on screen, it'd probably take me like 3 or 4 episodes, which, you know, is not what we're wanting to be doing. That's a crazy amount of time spent doing the same thing over and over and over. And I really don't think you guys want to see that. You know, so probably what's going to happen is we'll do a lot of the planting on the videos or whatever, but probably what'll happen is, you know, I'll do the plowing, and then I'll do the plowing and probably the plowing, fertilizing the same video or something like that, or however it works out, and then do planting, you know, do a time-lapse planting, so we do a bunch of it on camera, but then I'll probably end up doing like maybe even like half the field off camera, just because it takes so long. You know, it's a long, tedious process to do the planting. You know, the only other way I can think of doing it is like if we leased another planter or another couple of planters, and then we put them on follow me on a couple other tractors, then we could do like 3 rows at the same time, which would actually be pretty cool, I think. You know, it'd be like hiring your neighbors to come over and help you out with the big jobs. But at the same time, we need to be saving money. Like, I'm pretty sure, well, do we owe the bank a lot of money? I can't remember. I don't think we do, but I'd have to check. I can never remember, like, you know, which account has all the money owed and that sort of thing. speedy up bit or whatever, time lapse in there, then yeah, there'll be a time lapse just then. But if not, then it'll just be a really long, silent, boring part where I'm not talking. But I'm sure I'll remember it. You guys will be fine either way. And the time lapse will make sure that we get to do the fertilization this episode. Hopefully, yeah, we should make it. There's not a whole lot left. You know, we did the outside bit, and then we just kind of like circle around and do the inside and whatnot. It'd be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Can you imagine we were trying to do this with like those little, one of the little plows? I mean, this right here just takes you like, I don't even know. I mean, it just days. I mean, it would take you all day. You know, how fun is that? You know, spending all day plowing a field. And I don't think it'd be fun at all. I don't think anybody would think it was fun. You know, you guys would be bored to death. I would be like bored to tears, sitting here trying to, you know, come up with something to say while I'm just plowing and plowing. And oh, sorry, I dozed off there. Plowing. Yeah, I think this is a better option using this big one, doing a time lapse. The seeding part, I don't even know what I'm gonna figure out on that. Might sell a couple of tractors and try to get something a little bigger. But the only thing is like the bigger thing wouldn't match my my current machine set. You know, anything bigger is gonna have to be pulled by this thing, and we're already using this thing. And I could buy one of those other tractors, I suppose. You know, I mean, we are on a bigger farm, so having the smaller machinery is not really ideal. So I might do a little bit of looking around for like a bigger planter. You know, because even if I had one this size, it's still gonna take us a long time. You know, but if I could find like an older looking planter that would like kind of match that other big tractor, the one that kind of looks like this, that's not a Ford, that would actually be more ideal. If I could get a planter that would match that, and then we could just have both these big tractors, and we'd probably sell maybe 3 or 4 of those little tractors. Probably the ones we got sitting in that far shed over there. The older New Holland, the Case, maybe the old Finn, not the old Finn, the old Ford. Since we got this new Ford, or this bigger Ford, we don't really need the other Ford, since it seems to just simply want to get stuck in the mud. So, but we'll see. I mean, if you guys got any, like, you know of any mods, like big planter mods, that'd be great. And I will consider buying the big bud pack. I need to kind of look and see what the planter looks like in it, though, just to see what we're dealing with. I know the planter is big, because the tractors are big. You know, it is called the big bud pack, so we've just got to like look at it and see if it even closely matches what we've got going on here. But I do think we need bigger stuff. I mean, the planter we have now is newer anyway, so it's not really gonna make a difference. It'll just take less time to seed. We might have more time for other things. I don't even know what. Like, I don't know what you do. Like, you know, because I'm gonna have 6 days of spring and then 6 days of summer before I can actually start planting or start harvesting, I should say. You know, so I would say most of that time will be spent doing hay. You know, cutting grass, turning it into bales, doing silage, you know, that sort of stuff. Probably prepping for, you know, the fall when we can get straw and actually make like our food or total mixed ration or whatever it's called now. And you know, get prepared for cows. But I'd say as soon as we start cutting hay and stuff, then we can get sheep. Get the sheep rolling. Kind of debating on the pigs. I don't really think. I'm not so sure on getting pigs. I know, you know, it's a pretty decent idea, but it kind of depends on how long you do the series. You know, getting pigs, I think, is a little bit like, you know, buying solar panels or wind turbines or whatever. You know, it takes so long to even make up the cost that, you know, you got to kind of debate on it, because it depends on how long you're actually going to play you know, how long we're gonna play on this map. I don't know how many episodes we're gonna do, so you know, if we did 50 episodes, I'm not certain it'd be necessarily worth it, because like 50 episodes would probably only be like what, like 30 days or something like that. Let's see, 50, maybe something like maybe 20 or 30 days. You know, it might be worth it, but it'd be a lot of time and effort for not a whole lot of reward, I think. So I think dairy cows and sheep is what we're probably going to stick with, not so much the pigs. Maybe the next map we play on, there'll be pigs. Maybe that'll be our entire focus. It's just pigs. Nothing but pigs. You know, we'll get like 1,000 pigs, and we'll just, every day we'll be hauling like loads and loads of pigs to the sale barn. I wonder how much it would produce. Like, if you had 1,000 pigs and you just maxed out food and water and all that stuff, how often they'd produce a new pig? You know, if they produce enough that we could take them to the sale barn every day, you know, be making cash, be making the bukus, the dineros. Yeah, we should be good. Oops, wrong button. And you hit the raise her up button. Alright, so this should do it for the plowing. We can go get the fertilizer spreader, do the business with it. What are we going to plant in this field, though? Actually, might be... There we go. There's a good time. Alright, so we're on the first day. So I planted wheat and barley. So we could plant canola here and it'd be fine. We can't plant sunflowers until day 3 and 4, though. But we could plant corn, potatoes, sugar beets. We planted the grass, so that's fine. So let's plant canola on this field, and then the next field we do will probably be corn. And then maybe we might be into day 3 by then or something, so maybe we'll do sunflowers and soybeans. The plan is to have something like a field of everything. You know, obviously we're probably going to do another field of wheat, another field of barley, just because these fields are so small. I don't know. I started out with crop number 1 and kind of went with it. We are going to try the extended spread width. I don't know how far it can go. I know it's not realistic to go super far, but we're gonna test it out. I mean, it might be insane to go like super duper far. This off. Where is fertilizer spreader? Sprayer? Oh, it's on the back of the Massey. On the back of the Massey. Need to fill it up though. Let's go Massey Ferguson. Massey Fergus. Nope, we're not gonna fill it up there. We're gonna go over here. This is actually really fast if we fill it over here. It's actually pretty cool. As long as I don't get stuck in the mud. And I did. Wait, what happens if I raise it up? Is that gonna help me? Obviously. Oh. Boom. Super fast. That is like so fast. Oh, that's super fast too. No weight on the front of this tractor. There's no weight I can put on the front of this tractor. We're gonna work with it. I like the tractor either way. We'll just call it wheelie tractor. Come on, wheelie tractor. Get with it, man. Sounds cool. And how can you hold that against wheelie tractor? I mean, come on. What are my options? Just working with left shift. Reduce, increase. Numpad plus. How far will it go up? 50 meters. We're gonna try it. We're gonna give her a shot. How far does that go? Super far. Oh. Obviously not far enough for this tractor to be jumping around like it is. Probably should put this fertilizer spreader on a different tractor, and then we'll just figure something else out for this tractor. At least after this field, anyway. This is a really cool tractor, though. I gotta give it that. And I'm definitely down with this 50 meter spread width. It's gonna make it a lot faster, a lot less fertilizer. Well, I don't know if it's less fertilizer or if it actually uses the same amount of fertilizer. I'll bet it uses less fertilizer, because I'm sure the dispense rate is probably the same. It just happens to be covering a bigger area. You never know. It could be realistic. Maybe I just, changed out a couple of gears or something and made the wheel spin faster. Come on, Massey. Don't quit me now, man. You know what? Sometimes this happens, man. Sometimes it just happens. This super unrealistic third-person episode, it just, sometimes it gets the best of you. Sometimes. We're almost done, though. The sun's all going down and stuff. Turn on the lights here. Signify the darkness. Accept it the way it is. A little bit right there, but that's okay. That's okay. We can miss little bits here and there. This is going to be a canola field. It'll get fertilized a little bit, because it's going to get sprayed. Which the sprayer is going to be a little bit off after this 50 meter spreader width and all that. And the sprayer, I don't think you can adjust the width on that. That wouldn't even be realistic at all. It really wouldn't even make any sense if you're sitting there and the sprayer is like spraying like 30 feet more than it actually looks like it is. No sense, man. No sense. But this makes for a quicker job, though. It is getting the job done, and the whole field is fertilized. And the little Massey. Little Massey the could, man. What's that? It even got a little speedometer on it. Which doesn't make any sense, because I don't think this tractor would have a digital speedometer. I feel like that's probably wrong. But we'll go with it. We'll just go with it. I feel like it would have been like a dial, though, like that thing on the left over there. Don't think there'd be digital display. I don't know what 1834 is. Is that supposed to be the time or something? We do need a different tractor for the fertilizer. This little Massey just has way too much trouble with it. I don't think it can quite do it. Just has a lot of trouble like bouncing up and down. The steering doesn't work very well because the front tires are always like, whoa, man. Whoop, I didn't turn the lights off. There we go, good deal. So yeah, that's another day plowing and fertilizing down. Pull this shut. There we go. Good deal. Alright. So then tomorrow, hopefully, or the next episode, I should say, we'll do a little bit of seeding and then we'll probably sleep. Or maybe we'll sleep and then do a little seeding. I don't know. 1900, 7 o'clock. We would never go to bed at 7 o'clock. What I might do is we might run and buy a roller. And we'll get it done. We'll get rid of a little bit of this grass and stuff around the yard. We'll clean up the yard a little bit. I think make it a little bit, you know, look a little bit nicer. Turn more of this stuff into dirt instead of grass. So maybe that'll be the plan. It'll change it up a little bit. We'll do that until it's time to go to bed, and then we'll go to bed and wake up the next morning and do some planting. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. This is Butcher Man. Good day, y'all.